Santa Clarita. Welcome to SCV Today. I'm Tammy Edwards, and next to me, I am so excited, Mr. Dante Acosta.
Well, good morning, Santa Clarita. Thank you very much. I'm so glad to be here.
I'm so excited that you're here.
Well, it's going to be fun.
I know. You know, I did a little bio check on you.
Uh-oh. Here it comes.
I didn't tell you I was going to do this
No,
either.
you didn't.
You actually have dabbled in acting a little bit.
A little bit, yes. I grew up in an acting family. My father was a pretty famous character actor in the 50s, 40s to early 70s, and did a little bit myself.
Now, there was one role that you played.
Oh, there we go.
I believe it was like angry Iranian cab driver or something like that.
I played angry Middle Eastern driver on a... And actually, the funny thing is that it was actually a State Department film. We never saw it. No one can ever see it. It's locked away in some vault. But it was for some kind of training that they did, and that's what I played.
Did you have a speaking role? I
actually did have a speaking role, and then I was dubbed into Arabic.
Okay.
And what was so funny about that is that the guy that was originally going to do it backed out for some reason because they told him he was going to have to talk. And I'm like, well, isn't that why you're here? And I just said, I'll do it. And the funniest thing was it was this little tiny car. I couldn't even fit in the car. So the director had me like pop out of the car like halfway out and then start yelling at the largest man you've ever seen, you know, bigger than me, in just in English. And then of course I dubbed it to Arabic.
Do you remember what the words were? You know where I'm going.
I don't. I'm afraid of where you're going.
I want you to act it out.
I don't remember what I said, but I remember getting out of the car and I just started screaming at some guy
like, "You pay me now!"
Yeah, no, because I almost ran him over. I guess is the thing, and he's standing in front of the car, so I just started yelling at him in some just generic, you know, get out of the way, you idiot! So you know, I'm supposed to be, and then they were going to dub it into Arabic, and it was filmed right here in Santa Clarita. That was what was so fun about it. I got the call sheet. I'm like, wow, I guess I don't have to go very far.
Everything's filmed here in Santa Clarita. It seems like.
That's good for us.
But I'd heard that you had done some hosting before on some things. So that's why when you had always said, I'll help you out if Dave's never around, and Dave said he was going on vacation, so naturally you're the first person I spoke to. But I didn't know the rest of that about you, that you had done some acting. And there's one picture on there. I looked at IMDb, and you're like the angry mobster.
Yeah.
Give us an angry mobster look.
That's the mob lawyer look.
Look in your camera here and give angry mobster look. Yeah. Ooh, scary.
It's the mob lawyer look. That's what my age. And then we have the friendly dad. You know, we have that as well. So.
And you strangely you pull it all off.
Well, you know, it's whether you smile or not. So
That's
my
so
kids
funny.
know if they're in trouble when I'm giving them the mob lawyer look. You know.
Yes.
Clean up your room now.
That's so funny. Well, we've got a great show today.
Yes.
We have Cocolita Cakes and Cocolita Cafe is back again.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I saw some of the stuff that she brought. I didn't eat breakfast this morning. Normally I get my oatmeal in the morning, and I didn't get it because I knew I was going to be eating pastries.
Well, oatmeal fills you up, so you wanted to save some space for her yummy cakes.
Yes, no, I needed to do that. And then also we have Steve Roth and Karen Roth. Karen is a holistic nutritionist, and Steve was a comedy writer, right?
Comedy writer, and now I guess he's in marketing.
Marketing and advertising. And they've written this book, I Married a Nutritionist. And you and I have had a lot of fun going back and forth and reading some of the excerpts from this book. So we're going to have them on the show and talk about this a little bit. So, but before we go on to all that, how about your weekend? What'd you do?
Well, I did a lot of painting, actually, in between other family obligations.
Painting rooms or furniture?
Painting rooms. Our youngest son, Doran, he decided to try out some karate moves on a wall. And so we had a very, very nice hole in the wall. So it kind of was one of those things, you know how it is when you paint one room, you keep going. So I think I'm going to have to keep going.
Well, is this one of those things that, like, Carolyn said, I really want new paint, and so got a hold of your son and said, you know, put some holes in the wall, and that way I'll get Dad to paint the walls. Is that kind of what happened?
Well, it could be, but that would have been pretty selfless on his part. Like, he's going to get mad at me. And actually, I didn't get mad at him. You know what I did do? And I think this worked pretty well after he calmed down, is I explained to him that, you know, I'm pretty handy, so I'll repair the wall, and, you know, you got to do the texturing and matching and all that. But I told him that he would have to pay for all the materials. I didn't charge him for my time, because if he paid me by the hour, he'd be broke. And
I mean, doesn't he know that his dad is like the angry Middle Eastern
yeah,
taxi
exactly.
driver? Come
Mob
on.
lawyer guy. Yeah, exactly. No, I did the friendly dad thing, and I actually had him help me. So we cut out a square. We had done some other things. So I had these little squares of drywall. So we put them up there and we cut it out. And I showed him how to do that and put a backing on it and everything. And he did some of the work. So I think it was really a good moment for him. And then, of course, it was like poof, he was off, with playing video games or whatever he was doing. And I finished it up, and it came out very, very well, if I do say so myself. And those YouTube videos really help too.
Yeah,
So.
yeah, I bet. And so did you do any spectacular colors or just the same thing you did?
I went to a local.
You could say it.
Give him a plug.
Dave Caldwell's not here. You can say whatever you want.
I went to.
He's like the monitor. Oh, they don't pay.
I went to Sand Canyon Hardware, and Pat over there.
Wait, Sand Canyon has a hardware?
Sand Canyon Hardware store. It's been there. I think Paul's owned it for 17 years. It's been there a little longer.
So kind of like Newhall Hardware, but in Sand Canyon.
It's right there on Sand and Soledad. It's a couple doors down from Mayor Pro Tem Bob Keller's office. It's like two doors down. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Learn
so anyway,
something new every day.
went in there with the paint, and I said, I bought this here. And they said, yeah, the formulas have changed. And they spent half an hour tweaking it and matching it exactly. And so we have, and I did a ceiling match too on some other things. And we got a perfect paint match. So even though I started to just paint one section and it matched, I ended up going, because once you see what happens to the fingerprints that are gone now, you keep going and going and going and going and going. Yeah.
How neat though to spend that time with your son, and that's something he'll remember forever.
Well, let's hope so. Let's hope he doesn't do any more karate chops.
You know what I'm saying, though. I mean, I remember my grandfather always made me work, and he lived up the street from us, and he was a builder, and he would always a wealthy man, but he would always do everything himself, and that's probably why my grandfather has done so well. And he would plant trees. And him and my grandmother would travel a lot, and it was my job to water those trees. And I mean, I knew exactly how much water to put in there, and I knew if he came home and one of those trees were dead, I was dead.
That wasn't going to be good.
But you know what? I remember that the time of him showing me how to water the trees. And just the other day, I drove up Vermont Drive, and I was looking at all those trees. I mean, they're huge now, because this was, 25 years ago. And
so you were about 8, 7, 6?
No, actually, it was about 30 years ago. I was about 10, because I'm 41 now. And so
I wasn't fishing, but okay. The audience wants to know.
I talk about it all the time. I'm 20 pounds overweight. I'm 41 years old. You get it all. So, okay. But I went by and saw those trees, and I thought, I remembered that time I spent with my grandfather out there. So it's great. I need to go tell him that story.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll watch the show.
Still
oh, yeah, he's still.
Fantastic.
Oh, yeah. Are you kidding? Yeah, he's still here telling me everything that's wrong with our city. That's what he does. He thinks that since I have this job, like I am he thinks I am the city of Santa Clarita.
You can report back and get everything straightened out.
Yeah, so he's like, oh, so you're friends with Bob Keller, huh? Well, you need to tell him so-and-so and so-and-so. Oh, so you were in a meeting with Lorraine West. Okay, well, you need to tell her so-and-so. Okay. I'm on it.
How's it going? How's that working out?
Well, you know what? His big thing was he walks about 4 miles every day. And the curbs were really bad, really, really bad down Lyons Avenue. And that was his big thing. And he was writing letter after letter. And so finally they came out and they fixed not the curbs, I'm sorry, the sidewalks. So they fixed the sidewalks. Well, then he comes out and he realizes that they've left it real sharp. The concrete is very sharp, like razor blades.
Do you walk barefoot?
No, but the inspector's out there. So he stops the inspector and said, you're going to pass that? You think that's okay? And he's like, well, yeah, so he goes, kids are going to come along here barefoot and tear the skin off their toes. And so he kind of threw a fit about that. Next thing you know, they're out there trying to fix that. So it's pretty funny. But my grandfather was instrumental in building Newhall. So he remembers the days back when, you didn't have to go through all this permitting and all this other stuff. It was you do the job right the first time. You don't have 7 guys standing around watching you work, which he'll stop them and go, how much am I paying you guys to stand here? He's just one of those.
It's tough.
He stopped the lady driving the bus the other day and he said, why are you driving this big bus when you only have 4 passengers? I mean, that's just.
Well, I've always wondered that too, and I've mentioned that to people before about the buses. And oh no, but they're always full at this time. But I never see them completely full. So I'm wondering if we're getting our best passenger mile per gallon that we possibly could.
Yeah, I don't know, but he's great. I'm trying to get him to come on the show and talk to us a little bit
You
about
should.
things. Yeah,
Yeah, that'd
him
be
and then my husband's
fantastic.
grandfather, who's been here since 1938. So.
Maybe not at the same time though. Maybe that.
Oh no, it would be great because then
You're
they would
right.
get into conversations. No,
And you guys could walk off the set and just let them take over.
The problem is though with the grandfathers is they're completely unedited. So they will say, and there were things that you could say, 40, 50 years ago, and it was considered okay, and now you can't. And they'll just lay it out there, and be like, oh, that guy was a sucker. You know what I mean? You can't, they'll lay it out there. They'll say, oh, he's a liar, and but they're fine.
Maybe we need a little bit more of that, honest dialogue with people. Maybe tone it down a little bit, but let people know how you feel. Let people know. I think some of the political discourse that we have is just too, back and forth. The political parties, bickering with each other. And if we had a little bit more of an honest dialogue, which I know is asking a lot in politics, but. That's fascinating that you.
Yeah, well, that you're right though, because back in my grandfather's day, it was very much you get in there, you do it, you do the job right. There's no gray area. It was very black and white. There was no gray area between the parties. It was very clear as who was who and what was what. And these days, you never know. I could be having this great conversation with you, and you could leave here and be like, oh, that Tammy Edwards, can't stand her.
Well, I may, but that's.
Yeah, you might. That's okay. Dave does it every show.
Luckily, I've been on the show before, so I know a little bit what to expect.
That's so funny. Well, we've got a great show for you. Stay with us, and we'll be right back.
Escape reality at the Ivy Day Spa in Valencia. Relax your mind in our tranquil solarium. Unwind during your VIP massage. Rejuvenate with advanced diamond tip microdermabrasion, or choose from a variety of facial treatments. For a unique spa experience, visit the Grotto, where you'll enjoy a full body exfoliating scrub in an exotic setting. Schedule your escape today and receive a 50% discount on a VIP Grotto experience with your next full service treatment at the Ivy Day Spa in Valencia.
In conclusion, our database management solution promises a 23% return in the first year alone.
In conclusion, our database management solution promises a 23% return in the first year alone.
In conclusion, our database management solution promises a 23% return in the first year alone.
Will they remember you? Everything is image, and you need your image on everything. For the most cost-effective solution, visit AmericanLogosForYou.com to put the name you choose on the things you choose. Advertise your company, promote your school, commemorate your family reunion. The possibilities are endless. Visit AmericanLogosForYou.com because everything is image.
I can't grasp why, but Bob's pitch seemed on target somehow.
Right. I can't put my finger on it, but Bob was memorable.
I agree. Bob's pitch made the right impression.
Let's award the contract to Bob then.
Make sure people remember you. Visit AmericanLogosForYou.com because everything is image.
Well, we've been doing missions with you for a long time.
Welcome back to SCV Today. I'd like to jump right into it. Let's talk about Chick-fil-A. What do you think?
Chick-fil-A. I don't know. Were you in line on August 1st?
Actually, I wasn't in line. I was there before, like a couple of days before. Carolyn and I went out on one of those little mini dates where you get fast food and run to a movie, and we didn't go to a movie because timing was off. And I saw quite a few people there, actually, and was it August 1st?
August 1st,
right.
yeah.
And then it was August 1st came about, and I think I was starting the painting job or somewhere around there. And so I just thought, I'll go back some other day. And I heard the lines were just crazy.
It was insane. I know some people had posted some pictures that were just crazy.
Yeah.
I was going to go, and the reason why I felt that I should go is because I think this was completely blown out of proportion. Completely blown out of proportion. And I will start this off by saying that I have a brother who is gay. He is in love. And I think he should be able to be married. And to be quite honest with you, I could care less who gets married. It affects me in no way, shape, or form who can get married. That is not for me to judge. It's not for me to decide. Let them get married if they want to. And as far as I'm concerned, they should have to struggle through marriage problems just like I do. So Not that my marriage has ever had struggles, my dear Jason.
Jason's at home like that.
It's like, what struggles?
What's she talking about?
So I really, that's my opinion. I don't believe it's for me to say, you can, you can't. It affects me in no way. And I really believe in thou shalt not judge. And I understand that the Bible says man and woman, but the Bible also says a lot of things that we don't abide by. A lot of things.
Well, I think that issue aside, I look at the fact that a man was asked in a religious publication about his personal religious views, and he expressed his personal religious views, and then he's vilified for it. And I just think that that's an issue when a lot of other people give their personal views. Sometimes they're actually not even solicited. This was a solicited view. He gave it. I don't think he went out of his way to antagonize anybody, and it's kind of blown out of proportion.
Right. Well, that's where I was going. But however, I support Chick-fil-A because next thing you know, this was turned into he won't hire gays. He's spreading hate. Never did he mention the word hate. He never said anything. And I only saw little excerpts of it, but to me, there was never anything hatred. Hate's a strong word. It was just his own belief. And you know what? He's allowed to have that belief. And he hires gays and lesbians. He supports, I mean, it was nothing but it was his own personal belief. And I think that it was wrong, this attack. And what really infuriated me, at the end of the day, this turned into a Republican-Democrat issue.
Once again.
And that is what just infuriated me. It has nothing to do with your political views. It had, it was just, and you know what, I hate to say it, it's the media's fault. The media created an absolute mayhem.
Wait, Tammy, what actually happened?
What actually happened?
Yeah, at Chick-fil-A, or what
Where have you been the last week?
I guess I'm watching the news, sorry.
You're watching SCV Today, right?
Yeah, there you go.
So what had happened was, well, you can explain it better.
Oh, well, thank you. I'll try.
Well, because you just kind of did, but obviously our director wasn't listening.
The founder of Chick-fil-A was started in Georgia. He was being interviewed by the Baptist Press, a Baptist publication, and he was asked specifically about his views on traditional marriage. And he said, I am of the belief that traditional marriage is the way it should be, et cetera. I'm paraphrasing, of course. Right. And he didn't go out of his way, like I said, to antagonize anybody that I saw. He didn't say, and by the way, X, Y, or Z. He basically said, my belief, the Bible teaches the way I've been taught, my belief system, et cetera. And so many other religious faiths hold it. As a matter of fact, President Obama, up until very recently, held the same view on traditional marriage, and those same coalitions and groups that were calling for boycotts of Chick-fil-A weren't protesting at the White House. So I find it a little bit disingenuous there that there's a double standard, but it's the nature of things today. So that's what happened.
Yeah, and so Morris, what happened was then people started rallying behind Chick-fil-A and made August 1st Chick-fil-A Day. And so I know at one point the drive-through at our Chick-fil-A was 30 cars deep. The line was wrapped almost around the mall, or something like that.
Around,
I mean, it was just
hours.
It was just. I mean, they had record-breaking numbers at Chick-fil-A. So again, we've got bigger fish to fry, people. I mean, really. Let's. Again, I could care less if dogs want to get married. It affects my life in no way.
I take a slightly different view. I'm more pro-traditional marriage, but I think that if two people want to have any kind of other arrangement or relation, call it something else. But what I was going to say is that, you talked about we have bigger fish to fry. We have a government in a huge debt crisis, both on the state and federal level. We have elected officials who aren't addressing true and real issues, and then we have elected officials coming out and saying, well, you can't open a restaurant in our town. I'm going to make sure that you can't do it in this state or what have you. And I just find it incredible that, well, I don't find it incredible. I take that back. There's a reason why they're doing that. Let's draw attention away from the real issues, the real problems that we have of failing schools and crumbling roads and budget deficits that are blown out of proportion, and let's talk about
Right.
gay marriage and a chicken sandwich. And I
Yeah.
think that's really what's going on here.
Well, yeah, and I forgot to make that point that two elected officials, was it Massachusetts and
Rahm Emanuel, the mayor of Chicago,
Yeah,
very famously came out and said,
Yeah.
these aren't Chicago values, et
and said
cetera.
they were no longer going to allow Chick-fil-A to go in. They were going to offer.
They're going to give him a hard time. He backed off of that because you've got some
I bet he
legal
did.
issues there as well.
bet he
And,
did.
people are like, wait a minute, I want the jobs, I want the chicken, let's,
Yeah.
let's
Think
start with
about
that. I mean, let's have some jobs, right?
Yeah. So okay, people, let's close down Chick-fil-A, and then let's see how many people are out of work now. And then the unemployment numbers are going to go up, and then they're going to blame that on the on the Bush administration.
Yeah. Well, it is Bush's fault ultimately. But, yeah.
I mean, it's you know what? I was unemployed a few months ago, and I'm not now because I got off my butt and I got a job. End of story. And
Were
I
you
say
sitting
that
on your butt? Is
Never.
That, oh, okay.
Never.
Well, all right. You implied that maybe you were just
Never.
sitting around eating bonbons or something
Never.
like that, or Coca-Cola cakes, which would be better.
I eat Coca-Cola cakes while I work.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, no, never. You would never, ever, ever see me.
Well, that's
doing
just
that.
the point.
You get up and you get going.
You aren't sitting around complaining about your situation.
Huh.
You actually went out and did something about it.
Yeah. We went through some rough times.
Mm-hmm.
So, but you know what?
Well, a lot of people out there in our audience right now, a lot of people can relate to what you've gone through, and a lot of people have gone through out there, and it's been a tough time. But I think that if once people realize that the power is in their control, and they can do something about it like you did, then it'll get better.
You can sit home and feel sorry for yourself, and you know what? You are a perfect example of moving on. And I just said this earlier, and I'm going to, I said I wasn't going to go here, but here I go.
You put on the spot again, okay.
No. We were talking with Morris, the director, and you were laughing and everything, and you walked out the door, and I was just kind of staring, and Morris goes, "You're in deep thought." I said, "What are you thinking?" And I said, "I'm just thinking if I lost a child, if I could ever be happy again." And I said, and that man just amazes me. It just the smile you put on your face, and you go forward, and Morris said, he stays busy and he keeps going. So I would think that you probably are really disturbed when you see people that have everything there in their hands and they just, blame everything on the government. They don't get a job. And you're like, look what I've, made it through.
Well, I give a lot of credit to our faith, and I give a lot of credit to close friends and family, and our Gold Star family. We have a dozen or so Gold Star families, unfortunately, in Santa Clarita, and you'll be having a kind of a tough day, and all of a sudden, one of them will call you up and just say, "Hey, or leave you a voicemail or email. I was just thinking about you. How you doing?" And you're like, "Wow, okay." Because they know that dark place that you come from. And I've had this perspective. When Rudy was actually overseas carrying a 60-pound pack plus his med kit, 110, 20-degree heat. We've talked about this before, and we complain because the air conditioning isn't cooling off fast enough in the car, or the fax machine jammed. And I try to put things in perspective that, look what our servicemen and women are going through right now for us. And of course, losing Rudy puts it in an even deeper place for you of perspective, because I think my wife Carolyn put it very well one time. She's like, none of this matters. Nothing else matters. When you've lost, a loved one, your child, your parent, especially if they're younger, you really learn that what's important in life. And having a smile is just my way of trying to cope with that. We have tough moments too.
Oh, I'm sure you do. I'm sure you do. Yeah. But I'm glad you've got the Gold Star families to help you.
Well, thank you. Appreciate it. We do.
Anyway, leave it to me to always take it somewhere crazy. I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
But really, we did have that moment earlier. You didn't even know that it happened, and I just wanted to point that out. So, and then we got people all upset because about a chicken chain. It's like, come on.
So basically, what you're saying is that as soon as I left the room, you were talking about me.
We were.
Behind my back.
We were talking about you.
See how she is?
Yeah. That's what I did, but at least I tell you about it.
You know what? The old saying is any publicity is good publicity, whether it's Chick-fil-A or talking about me behind my back, so at least you're talking about me, right?
Exactly.
Thanks.
Jeez. Anyways, we're going to have Coca-Cola cakes here when we come back.
Hi, I'm John Dean with Dean Safe Company. For the last 4 decades, the first 10 people I talk to every morning have just been robbed or burglarized. I'm here to help. We have the largest selection of safes on the West Coast. We carry gun safes, pistol safes, burglary safes, fire safes, safes of all types designed for home and office. We will help you protect your valuables from fire and theft. We offer professional, discreet delivery. See it all on our website or give us a call, deansafe.com.
The Donut Inn on Soledad Canyon Road has a new name, California Bakery and Cafe. You still get the donuts, hot chocolate, and fresh squeezed juices, the sandwiches, croissants, and our famous tamales. But you'll also get cakes for parties, celebrations, and major events. Our unique bread baskets offer a one-of-a-kind gift, all with the personal service you have come to expect for the last 35 years. Get a cup of coffee and a Danish 24 hours a day. California Bakery and Cafe.
Welcome back to SCV Today. So, you don't know this about me, Dante. Well, maybe you do, but I love food. Like, food is everything to me. Yeah, you do watch the show. So, I invited back Cocolita Cakes, Martha Aguilera, because I go here all the time. It's like my favorite like little stop. And you've got some new things. I'm like, you got to come back on and show us your new things.
Right.
And then also, we had spoke a few weeks ago about opening Java and Jazz at your restaurant.
Right.
Which is now actually Cocolita Cafe.
That's correct.
And so we still have some drinks, but the drinks now match up to the cupcakes.
Right. So all of our drinks now have been modified. We have some of the drinks that were slightly Java and Jazz recipes, but now we have them 50s themed. We've revised the recipes. So our latest drink is the Johnny Special, which is inspired by Johnny Cash. It's a dark chocolate rum milkshake, and it's super yummy.
So rum extract?
Extract, yes. Our cupcakes have the real alcohol. We have some, adult cupcakes, but we can't serve alcoholic drinks. So it's a rum extract, but you can't tell.
Right, which we all know the La Bamba. Cupcake is my absolute favorite. With
I brought one for you today.
A whole shot of tequila in it. Wow. It's amazing.
It's really good.
And I don't even like tequila, but for some reason I love that cupcake. So
Tell
us about the cookies here.
Okay, so we have a few things today. This is our signature cookie. It's really popular in South America. It's called an alfajor. We're in Valencia. It's a signature cookie, or the Cocolita cookie. It's not anything else. It's similar to a shortbread. It has a crumbly, like melt in your mouth texture, and it's filled with our homemade dulce de leche. So it's a messy cookie. I'll let you guys know.
I'll try this.
I've had many of these. Many of these. That good?
I wish I didn't know how to make that freaking cookie. I wish I didn't know how to make it. It's so good.
Wow.
That's your favorite, right?
Yeah, it is my favorite. Anything that has dulce de leche is my favorite.
Yeah, you were saying that before. Yeah, that's so funny. Okay, so now let's move on here to the cupcakes.
So the cupcakes.
Just drop the crumbs everywhere. It's okay, Dante.
That's okay. I'm leaving this stuff behind. You guys can have it all.
We'll have Paul go pick it up when he comes back in town.
Yeah, Dave.
We have the rotating menu of 42 cupcake flavors. They're all inspired by the 50s. The one I really wanted to show you guys. This is the La Bamba. This is yours.
That's
for you. Yeah.
Nobody touch.
This is our Chanel. It's our best-selling chocolate. It's the devil's food with the whip dipped in chocolate, inspired by Coco Chanel's favorite, which was chocolate. This one is the chocolatini. It has an edible diamond on it because it's Liz Taylor, so it had to have diamonds. Blue velvet because it was one of her first films, and a Kahlua drizzle because it was one of her favorite drinks.
Wow, I've never seen this one before. That's amazing.
We only make it a few times a month.
That's really cool.
Roses and Thorns.
Oh, this one here?
Yeah.
This is a new one, right?
It's not a new one. It's the one that we only make a few times a month also. It's a very interesting combination. It's a lime cupcake with a fresh mango filling and an elderflower liqueur frosting. It's inspired by one of Lana Turner's famous quotes, where it states that, life is equally made up of roses and thorns. It's a delicious cupcake. You guys should totally try it.
Yeah, we're totally
we're definitely trying that.
And then Burning Love is banana peanut butter, which is inspired by Elvis.
That's this one right here? Look at that.
And then we have the red velvet. Did we
the red velvet, that's Mr. President. It's a red rose petal, which is Marilyn Monroe's cupcake because it's sexy red velvet.
Honestly, that is so good.
That is amazing.
It is so moist.
And I didn't even get any of the mango, but I'll have to come
One
afterward.
more spoon.
One more. Is it in the middle there?
Yeah.
All right, we'll try. Oh, there it is.
Take a real bite, for goodness sakes.
I just wanted the mango.
Take a man bite.
Then it'll be
mango. Like mango, like
shoveling the whole thing in my
That's
mouth.
how we're supposed to say it. Mango, not mango. Mango.
Every time I'm Dante, I'm thinking that you should break out into Babalu or something.
That's my favorite cupcake, Babalu, the dulce de leche one for Ricky Ricardo. You should.
I remember
you
that.
You should totally do it. Yeah.
We'll come do a little bit at your place.
Yeah, you should.
Do you know how to play the bongo?
No.
Oh, you can pretend.
We'll wing it. We'll wing it. Yeah, we'll wing it. Nobody will know.
We'll do what's it called? We'll have a lip sync. We'll do a bongo.
There you
bongo
go.
sync.
I'll just play I Love Lucy in the background because we do it all day at the bakery anyway.
I know. I love to sit there and watch I Love Lucy episodes.
So a couple of new things that we have. This is our new push cake. We have it in the Babalu flavor.
Okay.
And
That's
in our
the
best
Babalu?
selling, which is the Holly Go Lightly, it's a pink champagne cake with a fresh strawberry filling that's been soaked in champagne overnight.
And so you basically pop this
Yep,
off.
you pop it off and you eat it. Like if you put it in the freezer, it's just like an ice cream cake too, and it's layered.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
So you just let this frosting off at first?
Yep.
Or what?
You just push.
I'm afraid it'll fall everywhere.
Oh, I see.
You got to get it out.
So I've had these before, but I've been alone, so I didn't actually.
Yeah. How do you eat this
Pour
on
into it.
camera? We'll just, go off camera here.
People will understand.
Yeah. Oh, so that frosting is so good.
Oh, wow.
What kind of
Isn't that
frosting
good?
is that?
That's
This one's
our
mine.
signature cream cheese frosting.
It's so good because you know what? I don't like cream cheese frosting when it's like overpowering cream cheese. And this isn't overpowering. It's awesome, and it works great with those strawberries.
Thank you.
The
yeah,
strawberries
we
have
really,
champagne, don't they?
Yeah, they're soaked in champagne overnight before we put them in the
That's
cupcake.
why I like it.
There you go.
I definitely picked the right day to guest host. Let me tell you. It's
Now,
fantastic.
honestly, this is my favorite thing in the entire world.
And what,
so
what
anywhere,
is that? I don't know if we can we see that okay? That's
That one is called Brazo de Reina. There you go. Again, we're in Valencia. We call it Queen. It's so funny. It's true. It's the truth. I try. You know when I
Dumb it
open
down for us Valencia people.
No, I don't dumb it down. I just make it a little easier. You know what I mean? It's like Brazo de Reina. Like what? Well, what's that? I'm like, oh, it's Queen.
Queen. Right.
And it's a vanilla sponge cake wrapped in also our homemade dulce de leche, and then it's dipped in chocolate.
Or do you like anything with the
Dulce de leche again, but this is my favorite thing in the world. Like
And
in
this-
any place that sells anything, like this is my favorite thing.
And this last one?
And it tastes awesome with coffee. This is our cloud cake. This is super popular. Also, that can be made into any size. It's a vanilla cake with peaches, peach glaze, dulce de leche, meringue, and whipped cream.
All right, Tammy, that one's yours.
I have to tell you, my makeup artist, Betsy.
Yes, Betsy.
She's on this diet, which
not when I see her.
I always give her the, that there's one way you lose weight, you work out and you eat right, period. But
right.
I got to.
Well, she looks amazing.
She looks awesome.
She looks amazing.
But today is her cheat day.
I know.
It's cheat day. So she goes, I went over to Cocolita and I got a cloud cake because it's my cheat day.
That's how I know it's her cheat day. She called me yesterday and she said, I need a cloud cake because it's my cheat day and I'm gonna eat it for breakfast. I don't care.
She's so funny.
She's adorable.
So funny. She's so great.
I love her.
I literally have the best team. My hair and makeup girls. They come here. They do my hair and makeup for free. These girls are amazing.
I need your job.
That's the kind of community.
I don't need to be a bakery.
Here we go.
That's the kind of community that we live in, though. You know.
Exactly. Honestly, since I opened, I've become a member of different different networking groups and things like that, and I've met just the most amazing people. Tammy, you've been one of the most supportive. Since I opened, she visited me, and you've just been great, and I really want to say thank you. And I text you sometimes, and I'm just like, you're so freaking awesome. What would I do? What would I do without you? Or when I was having a bad day, you're like, just pray, you're going to be fine.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, okay, you're right.
Well, it's very hard to open a business, and you've got 2 young children, and you work so many hours, and it's just fabulous.
It's been great. It's been awesome. My kids have been great. And speaking of my kids, this is Erica. Today she is my alter ego, Cocolita. And people are gonna be seeing Cocolita. I had a cake made that kids, when they come in, they can take a picture with Cocolita and the cake. And probably when we do birthday parties and things like that. But I figure that since we're one of the only bakeries that I know of that have like a character, I really wanted to make it more family friendly and have an attention getter, people that know, so when Cocolita's standing outside and we're giving out free coffee and doing free samples, it's going to be something that's really memorable. So that's what we were going for with Cocolita.
That's so great. And then one thing I want to mention is that any of these cupcakes, anything off of your menu, and it's a vast menu which you can get on your website, which we'll link to from the SCV Today website, is any of these can be made into mini cupcakes for parties, and then you also will turn them into a cake as well.
Right, we do everything from your basic 9-inch round to your topsy-turvy wedding cake. I mean, we've made adult cakes, like bachelorette party cakes, so they can be made into anything.
Can't talk about those.
So we have, we can do anything with cakes these days.
Things.
So there's 42 flavors and growing, so come check us out.
Yes, I would highly suggest that you do visit Cocalita. It's a wonderful 50s theme. It's beautifully decorated, and it's a great place to be.
So will you come back again?
Of course I will. Next time I'll bring our empanadas.
And croissants.
Oh.
And our
Bring the
croissants.
Oh my God, the croissants.
I
are
forgot
back
to
for it.
mention, I talked about your empanadas over the weekend to my nephews. They had empanadas. I said, yeah, but you didn't have from Cocalita.
Oh,
what?
thank you.
So I was bragging about your empanadas.
Thank you. Well, next
They
time I
are
visit, I'm going to bring
fantastic.
we have
Yeah,
new
really.
flavors in empanadas too. Everyone's going for like the more healthy thing right now. So I mean, I know because I'm I'm what you know as like a career dieter. So my chicken empanada is only 2 points on Weight Watchers. It's only 160 calories. So the next one we came up with is a ground turkey with sun-dried tomato, which is really comparable to the chicken. So those are doing really, really well right now. But my favorite is of course the nice, yummy beef, which is not 2 points on Weight Watchers and definitely not 140 calories, but totally worth it.
Yeah.
So
See, and
next time I come,
I like the fried cheese one.
of course. But you can eat the fried cheese one. I can't eat the fried cheese one.
Anyway, Martha, please come back again because
I
it's
will.
always so fun. And Miss Cocalita, you need to come back as well. Stay with us when we come back. We're going to have I Married a Nutritionist authors, Steve and Karen Roth.
Scratch Golf Accelerated, Santa Clarita's unique indoor golf training and fun center. We have great programs for kids and adults of all levels. Rain or shine, we're here to improve your golf game and have fun doing it.
It's great to practice with just the girls at Scratch.
We enjoy playing in the adult league at night. It's a great time.
And they make it so much fun for the kids too.
We love Scratch!
Come see us at Scratch.
Welcome back to SCV Today. So now that we have stuffed our faces full of cupcakes from Cocalita,
Delicious.
it was good, but
Yeah, it was good.
we need Karen Roth and Steve Roth. Karen Roth is a holistic nutritionist, and her husband, Steve Roth, was a comedy writer and now works in advertising. But they have written this book together, I Married a Nutritionist. Things I've learned that every guy should know. So welcome, Karen and Steve Roth. Thank you so much for being with us. So we read some of the excerpts from this book, and we were laughing together reading it. So tell me, what brought this book about?
Well, as you can imagine, being married to a nutritionist, I get a lot of inside information on health and nutrition. And one day I thought, it's a shame that I'm keeping all this information to myself. I might as well be sharing it out there with the world. So I started a blog about 2 years ago called I Married a Nutritionist. And then a strange thing happened. I thought a lot of guys would subscribe, and they did, but a lot of women did, which was kind of strange because it was written in guy humor and a lot of innuendos, and the women loved it. And then a short distance after that, as it grew and grew, we expanded it into a book.
And so what is it like being married to a nutritionist?
The analogy I like to use is, Dante, you'll appreciate this. It's almost like having your mechanic move into your garage and set up shop. Take care of your car, keep it running, fill it with gas, and but I don't want to say that Karen's food gives us gas or anything. It does the absolutely opposite. No, but it's really terrific, and mainly it's kept me out of the doctor's office, kept me off of pharmaceuticals that a lot of my friends are on. So it's really a good lifestyle. So
now, in addition to being funny, the book is written in a really unusual format. So it's conversation back and forth.
Bantering.
Was that something that you guys had set out to do originally, or was that something that kind of came along during the course of the book? Were you thinking this might hit a male audience better? What were your thoughts behind that?
Yeah, I think we really wanted to gear it towards our target audience, which really was males, and we kept everything very short, 2 or 3 pages that guys can read on the throne in the morning, and also to keep it very humorous so all the information is really digestible.
The guys that I know would read much more than 2 to 3 pages in the morning sitting on the phone, just saying.
Well, I have to admit that I was a little upset at this topic. I thought maybe Tammy got a call from my wife that said, would you please book the nutritionist? My wife's been in the health field. She's worked for some of the major health and fitness companies over the years, especially when we first were dating and married, etc. So I thought, oh great, so my wife's put Tammy up to this here. But that's,
we're finding that a lot, where a lot of women are buying the book, reading it themselves, and then kind of just leaving it out on the table for their husbands.
Right. Well, the format is unusual. It's written. I likened it to, you can tell you're married because the way that she keeps interrupting. I mean, what is, you're trying to get a sentence out, and then bang, she's in there with a little quip or a little jab at us guys. So I kind of like the beginning. Catches you right away with the topic about sugar. Why don't you expand on that a little bit about how it's killing me, us?
Well, it talks about sugar and artificial sweeteners.
Right.
We do consume an awful lot of sugar. I mean, the average is around 3 pounds of sugar a week for each American. And it's at hidden sources, and we talk about the hidden sources where people are consuming more sugar than they even realize. And then many people they understand that, and then they switch over to the artificial sweeteners. And this is where, when you read that chapter on artificial sweeteners, you'll understand the dangers behind them. I mean, every artificial sweetener that's out there was never intended to be food. They were all accidentally discovered in a lab. Chemists, insecticides. One of my favorite stories is sucralose. Sucralose was meant to be an insecticide, and the two scientists, it was an insecticide. The two scientists who were working on this had 2 different language barriers, and one said test it, and the other one thought he said taste it. And that's how it ended up in those little yellow packets.
Wow.
So.
Well, I feel a little vindicated because some time ago, my wife and I, not 100%, but like anything else, you cheat once in a while. It's almost a treat. We've given up diet sodas, any kind of sodas in the house at all. For the most part, it's pretty rare now. We'll brew tea or drink iced tea or something like that, figuring it's a little more natural. And I know we need to get the organic tea, right? Right. And we've been using. I've been using some agave. We'll talk. Maybe you can tell us a little bit about if that's okay. But raw sugar. My wife has switched over completely to raw sugar, which when it gets hard, is kind of difficult. But it's been. We feel a little bit vindicated. And then you also talk about soy, which.
Yes. Soy is just infiltrated our food supply. It's in 60% of all packaged foods. And what soy does is raises estrogen levels. And what that does, especially in men, is lowers their testosterone, lowers libido, can cause infertility. There's actually a whole surgical niche for a medical condition called gynecomastia. And that is the overgrowth or the overdevelopment of man's breasts.
We're talking man boobs.
Thank you for clarifying.
That's we kind of get right to that.
What are the other side effects? Anything else?
Well, too much soy consumption can raise your homocysteine levels, which can lead to heart disease, and particularly children that are on soy formula. That can feminize young boys, and that can make early development of the little girls.
Yeah, they're really finding this is a big problem because 20% of all children are on soy formula. And they said basically with little girls, it's the same as giving a child 4 to 5 birth control pills every day. They have about 20,000 times more estrogen pumped in their body from that soy formula than children on regular formula.
So what about just soybeans? Are those not good for us then, or is that something totally different?
No, soybeans they still have the estrogen compounds in it. And it's not about avoiding all soy. Fermented soy, like miso soup, is fine. But it's the amount of soy that we're getting in our diets. I mean, if you go into a grocery store and pick up any packaged bread, you will not find one that does not have soy flour or soy oil in it. So say you start your morning with some soy milk over your cereal, maybe you have a piece of toast, maybe you have a sandwich at lunch, maybe you have a veggie burger, and you could be consuming soy throughout the day and just have an overaccumulation of it.
So this is just mind-boggling for me because I've always had it in my mind that if it has soy, it's good.
Right. You've been trained that way.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, but just like my daughter loves just the little edamame, the soybean. That's okay?
If it's organic, because most of our soy is genetically modified. 93% of our crops in this country are genetically modified. That means that it's not of nature. When it's genetically modified, it's a patented. How can you patent food if it's not natural? It's not.
Would this have something to do, because I know nowadays, I mean, girls are maturing so much quicker. I mean, they're starting their periods 2 to 3 years younger than they did back in my day. Does that have to do, you think, with soy, or is that something?
Absolutely. Well, the soy and the hormones in our meats and our dairy products. So the combination of the two, absolutely, that could be contributing to it.
If you want your son to pass along your family name, that can be problems because these little boys are really, some of them becoming sterile. It's going to be a problem with maybe it's a solution to population growth in a strange way. But unless you want your little leaguer to become a Girl Scout, you may want to kind of keep them away from that soy.
You can see the comedy writer coming out of it. Right now, I'm breaking the chair.
You see, that was a stunt. That was very good.
That was good. Timing was perfect, wasn't it?
Very good timing.
See, I had that rigged for Dave Caldwell from the fall.
You were, but I'm taller. I was able to stop myself.
Caldwell's going to be watching this from Florida tomorrow.
He's going to be on the floor.
I knew she was trying to kill me.
Dave, that was for you right there. Perfect. She did that for you. So you talk a little bit. It is summertime.
Right.
We us guys particularly are out there, flipping burgers on the grill, cooking them. What advice can you give us about grilling?
We barbecue all the time. We eat outside in the summer more often than we eat inside, and we cook chicken and hormone-free chicken and grass-fed beef and. But before I married a nutritionist, I barbecue probably like you do or anybody else, and you really kind of turn it up and cook it well and get that smoke flavor. Well, what Karen turned me on to was the information that that's not so good because that smoke and the char and everything is basically
that crispy part on the meats.
Absolutely, putting cancer-causing compounds on your meat. And there are strategies you can do, such as cook over lower flame, enjoy your beer a little bit longer, look at your backyard and enjoy.
But just fermented, right? That's why the beer.
No.
There you go. But take your time.
But in our book, we address issues that could be causing, problems with your health, like cancer, for example, with overcooking your meat. But we also give solutions, like marinating your meat cuts down those cancer-causing compounds by like 70%, I think. Yeah. So we give a solution for everything. I mean, many people are doing things that they think are healthy and right, when in reality, if they knew the truth about artificial sweeteners, where they actually came from, they would put that away, throw it in the trash, and try something more natural.
Which leads me to you. Earlier you mentioned the agave. And is that good?
It's still a high sugar. The raw sugar, all those sugars are still adding calories and raising your triglycerides. I mean, some more natural sweeteners would be stevia, xylitol. We mentioned that in the book. You can cook with both of those. Xylitol's easier to cook with, but there's healthier versions. It's a naturally occurring compound that's made from fruits. Usually, when they dry it, it comes out, looks just like sugar.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Where do you get that?
Any health food store. You can get it at Sprouts. You can get it at Whole Foods.
And you could use it to make things like cupcakes and cookies and
absolutely. Absolutely.
We are just a wealth of information here at SCV Today.
I'm a little concerned that I'm not going to make it out of here alive with the burnt hamburgers and the soy and
some adjustments.
Okay. Well,
I like my steak medium rare-ish.
Yeah,
but
I do too.
But my ground beef, my hamburgers, burnt. I want like a hockey puck. I want it burnt.
I don't go that far, but
no,
I
want it. I want it, and I love that crispy part that you say is so bad for me. But you take that burnt hamburger and you put some Thousand Island dressing on it. Oh, so good. So I can't do that anymore.
Well,
you have to come over to our house for barbecue.
Okay.
Well, we're free this afternoon, right?
Okay.
Steve, I was looking through your bio and I noticed that something caught my eye, that you're a competitive archer, and that's all the rage today. Boy, you're a man before your time, I guess, a little bit. Tell me a little bit about that, or tell us a little bit about that, and how does being married to a nutritionist affect that?
I picked up some amazing tips from Karen that have helped me compete. I actually shoot at home field down here at Woodley Park here in Los Angeles. We shoot outside, it's hot. Like most athletes who are runners outside, you're sweating, you need to hydrate. Well, I used to grab sports drinks, the same kind, all the colored ones down, this is a nice blue one, nice yellow one.
Yeah.
And everyone was drinking them, so I figured it was okay until Karen took a look at the label, as she always does. and said, do you realize the dyes and all the
artificial sweeteners?
Artificial sweeteners, but the dyes are in particular are a problem because some of them actually cause allergic reactions, which hurt the respiratory tract and really are not good for you. So what I drink now is coconut water. It is the absolute best thing for hydration, for whether you're working out in the gym or outside. Great solution for hangovers, because hangovers are nothing but being hydrated, so you grab
After
that
those
coconut water.
Tequila cupcake.
Yes, I will need that, right?
After
But,
4 or 5 of those.
Here's my problem with coconut water.
Okay.
It tastes horrible.
Well, you can add.
It's horrible.
Oh, it has such a mild taste.
I got it thinking I'm going to be healthy. It was bad. So what's the trick to liking it? Is it repetitive taste? I mean, you can't tell me you loved it the first time you tasted it.
Aside from adding rum to it, you can. They are
now the secret's out.
They are actually making flavored coconut water. I happen to like the taste. In fact, we
You can mix it. You can mix it with a little bit of juice.
Okay.
If you like something like lemonade or an orange flavor, but yeah, it can be an acquired taste.
Yeah.
But I find it not to have that much of a taste at all.
Okay.
Our dog loves it.
My grandparents built a house in Acapulco in the 50s, and it is just full of coconut palms. And so I grew up going down there and drinking a lot of the coconut milk and eating the coconut meat and all that, right off the tree if it didn't hit you in the head.
Right.
Yeah, because that happens. Like the time I dropped it off the 3rd story trying to break it. I almost hit my uncle. And it didn't go over so well, by the way. But my point is there are other side effects to the coconut milk.
Phenomenally good for you.
You like that
actually, you know what
flow that it gives you.
It
makes you regular.
Well, it gives you lots of time to read. I married a nutritionist.
Lots of time to read. I married a
That's
nutritionist.
so funny. That's
exactly.
so funny. Well, we're going to have to go, but thank you guys so much for coming and sharing this
appreciate
with
it.
us. I mean, I would love to have you back again because you are just a wealth of information, and we haven't even touched on everything that you know.
Absolutely.
So thank you so much. Best of luck with the book. If you want more information on how to get the book, we will have the links on scvtoday.com.
An old knee injury used to keep me from enjoying the things I love most. Dr. Barraza has completely changed my life.
I never thought going to a chiropractor could make me pitch better, but it has. It's kind of my little secret.
What I do has proven to increase your quality of life naturally, without any drugs or surgery. Vertical Wellness, where your health and well-being is my business.
Are you ready for your close-up? You will be at Santa Clarita School of Performing Arts. We have classes for kids, teens, and adults in acting, modeling, improv, voiceover, singing, and recording. And Saturdays, you will have the chance to audition for some of LA's top agents. Everything you need to succeed in show business is here. Join our list of stars. Learn your craft at Santa Clarita School of Performing Arts.
Show. Thank you so much, Dante, for filling in. You're going to be here on the next show as well.
Yes, I am.
That's going to be so great. And we're going to have a great show. We're going to have Lava Volleyball Academy is going to be here. It's Los Angeles Volleyball Academy. Great school for young volleyball players. They're going to be here, as well as Kevin Corenthal is going to be here to tell us his inspiring story.
Oh, that's a great story.
Yeah, it's a really good story.
And don't forget, we're going to have Route 66. Going to be talking about some of the great food that they make, and also Coffee Kiosk is going to be here and talk about their great coffee drinks. Maybe they'll bring some with them.
I hope so. I hope Route 66 brings us some food too.
Let's see.
I don't know. I was there the other day and I saw someone had creamed corn.
Oh,
Who makes
delicious.
creamed corn anymore?
Route 66 does.
Route 66 does. So anyway, so make sure you're here with us next time. Thank you so much for watching.